This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.
Thank you for listening to the Covert Nerd Podcast. I really appreciate the time that you give me. Before we get into the episode, if you can think of somebody that would like this topic that you're about to listen to, please pause the podcast and share it with them. You can also go to covertnerd.net and look at previous episodes and different ways that you can get in touch with me. Let me know what you think. Without further ado, let's dive right in and nerd it up. All right, Covert Nerd fan, we're back for another Cobra Kai episode. So we got Cobra Kai season 5 just out, and I've got true fans here, Jesse and my daughter Ruth. So we're going to mix it up and have some fun with Cobra Kai. We're going to strike hard, strike fast, right?
Yeah, no mercy.
Yes.
There will be no mercy in this episode.
Yeah, not in this dojo.
Yeah, that's right.
This audio only dojo.
Gonna kick your earlobes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do general perceptions of season 5, Jesse. What was your overall view of season 5 compared to the previous seasons? Maybe let us know how you would rank that, I guess, too.
Man, I guess I hadn't thought about it, how it stacks in comparison to other seasons. I really like this season, and it feels pretty self-contained. I feel like taking Kreese off the board was a good call. It was all over the place, though. Like, it was like, the one thing about it is, like, this universe has grown so much that it really is hard to give everybody the same amount of time. You know, it's like, it's almost good that they've taken some of the characters out of the loop, like Aisha and stuff like that, because how are you going to develop? How are you going to develop that character further? How are you going to give them equal time in a story like this? Like, it really started to funnel in on what was going on with Terry Silver and Daniel specifically. Meanwhile, Johnny's got his own thing going on, but it does really feel like a B plot, like a side story a little bit. I don't know. Overall, I really liked it. It was another one of those summer seasons. It really did feel like a sequel to Karate Kid 3. This did. I mean, the whole show is, but like this felt like a sequel to that. And also a lot of Karate Kid 2 stuff. You know, like I was surprised at how much Karate Kid 2 nods we actually got.
Now, you mentioned how this season or how this series has changed. My daughter actually went back and was starting to watch from season 1. And I haven't seen season 1 for a long time. I was like, wow, it's almost unrecognizable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, considering where it started and how it was so Johnny focused. And yeah, now you think about characters like Amanda. It's like, she really put up with this for a long time.
She did. Yes, you're right.
Really
I can see why she cracked this season.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, how about maybe not rank it between all of them? Maybe just how about compared to previous season 4? I guess where do you think this is better, worse, about the same?
I think it fits, but it is different. You know, it's like, because season 4 was really interesting in that you had the 3 different factions. You know, you had Johnny and Daniel trying to work together and yet not really being ready to do that. And it's funny how this evolved into now they're ready to play ball. You know, like now they understand why they need each other. Now they understand how they help each other, that kind of thing. Like they both kind of develop almost a mutual respect in this season, which is like, man, why did it take so long?
Yes,
why did it take so long? But it's like, it felt earned in this season. Like it didn't feel forced as much. It's just like, it was like, okay, we get it now. Like everybody kind of just gets it in this season a little bit. And I was like, it's kind of a cool payoff. But it does make me worry. And I know we're going to get into predictions, but it makes me worry, like, where do you go from here now? But these writers are clever. So I'm not going to doubt them too much, but I am just like, I don't see where it's going. So we'll see.
Yeah. Every time a new season pops up, I'm like, I don't know. You know, I'm ready to be let down. I'm ready to be let down. But again, season 5 still really good. I do like the fact that you made a good point that we finally maybe have closed the door on the Johnny Daniel conflict. I mean, there's going to be a little bit, but they seem to really have just, we're done with that storyline. That storyline is over.
Yeah, like more now it's more like this is an annoyance that I understand about Johnny. Like okay, Johnny's going to try to explain to these guys the history of Miyagi-Do and not really get it, but look at him trying and I appreciate it kind of thing.
I don't know if I was as satisfied with this one as season 4. So I guess if I had to rank them, maybe 4 was a little bit better in my opinion. I think season 5, I would say, is better than season 4 is better than season 5. But I think overall, the one that I like probably the best, just because of the nostalgia, was it season 2 when they had Elizabeth Shue? Or was it season 3? 3. Okay.
Yeah.
It was season 3 then.
Because season 2 ends with the fight at the school.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So season 3 or 4 when we got Shue.
Okay.
I don't think it was last season. So
season 3 then is by far my bet, just because of the nostalgia, not because it was necessarily better written. I just liked introducing Allie back again. Just that kind of putting that all to bed. Just that
Sure.
whole thing. So, what about you, Ruth? What do you think overall? Just a 10,000 foot impression of season 5.
I would say this season definitely kept me watching. I probably watched the entirety of it in like 2 sittings. It definitely like kept me going with the story. I really liked how they added. I loved Silver in this season. Like
Yes.
everything he did, I just loved Silver so much as a character, which is why it made me sad that he may or may not be gone. I feel like he's not going to actually be gone, but I guess he's not the main antagonist for the next season. I loved Chosen, which I didn't really think that I would like him because I'm like, they're just bringing in this character because like he was in another movie, so like they're bringing him in because they're bringing in all the other characters from every other like thing in the Karate Kid world, and he was a very likable character. Yeah, I would say a lot of the characters' development and introduction of new characters was probably what kept me going.
A good balance, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jesse
Yeah.
said, they had to kind of shelve a few of them so they could bring in a few more.
Yeah, no, because like all the Miyagi-Do kids, like you barely saw. Like honestly, I feel like there still wasn't a lot of like there was kind of like Miguel and Sam time, and there was kind of Robbie time, but it was mainly focused on like Cobra Kai and like the rivalry between the dojos.
right.
Well, how would you rank this in your opinion? Is it better than season 4? About the same? Worse?
I would say I think I like it better than season 4. I think
Okay.
I would definitely rewatch the season, mainly because of Silver.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So villain wise, sounds like you like Silver better than Kreese?
Yes.
Why?
Oh yeah, no, I like Silver better than Kreese. I don't know, he's just more of like he seems more of a threat. Like he seems more of an unstoppable threat than Kreese was. Like Kreese seemed like someone that if you were smart enough you could stop him. But like Kreese is always like 3 steps ahead of everyone else.
You mean Silver?
Silver, yeah. Silver's like 3 steps ahead of everyone else. He's also Kreese was very like in the valley, and the fact that Silver was trying to get outside the valley and make it like a global thing, I don't know, that kind of just made me like step back and go like, whoa, like this guy's like on another level than Kreese is.
Okay. So he's thinking big time, where Kreese is thinking just, I want to be the big fish in a small pond. Silver wants to be the big fish in the ocean.
Yeah.
Or maybe another way, Kreese tries to punch his way out. Silver is planning 10 steps ahead.
Yes. And yeah, I also like how he's a little bit more like he plans things out, whereas like Kreese is he's more of an aggressive villain.
Let's pivot into, I guess, favorite scenes, characters, or parts from season 5. Ruth, what was your favorite character, scene, or story arc that you liked?
I think I really liked how Amanda finally started supporting Daniel doing his karate stuff, because I feel like that's been a long time in waiting. Like, so I was like, Daniel, like, stop. Like, why are we still doing this? It's still going, because I think that's been happening since season 2 or something like that.
Well, yeah, almost from the beginning. Well, like Jesse said, this season we finally saw her crack under the pressure of I'm just so done with this, which is good. I think but in a short time she cracked and then she supported pretty quickly. So okay.
Yeah, it was a pretty big flip. But I don't know. I liked how as soon as Amanda finally was on board, Daniel was no longer on board. I don't know. That was like a very like surprising thing to see in the season because Daniel has always been like, we gotta take down the bad guys and we gotta do it any way possible and da 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 da. And then like when Amanda's finally supporting him, he's like, no, I'm not. Like it was so disheartening to see him like not wanting to do anything because he's always been very like, we have to make this happen. And then he finally like broke and stopped wanting that to happen.
I kind of skipped here. Let me do predictions. I forgot that, so let me pause, Jesse, for you. Predictions. Jesse predicted that Johnny will follow Miguel too. Ruth predicted that as well. That was pretty much a given at the end of season 4.
Yeah.
That was no shock.
Yeah.
Jesse predicted that Terry will expand to take over the Valley, which again, that really is pretty much a given, but he definitely did. Anthony will have to train in season 5. We did see he did train.
Yeah, he even helped them figure out the egg thing.
The egg thing.
That's
so
true.
yeah,
That's true.
He did that. Jesse predicted that Kenny's brother will get out of juvie.
Oh yeah, we didn't see that at all. No,
I kind of forgot.
I don't know how they would have fit that in, but like, yeah.
It was too full, but I can see that maybe in season 6. So Jesse believed that Barnes will be in season 5, which we kind of knew, but you thought that he'd help Silver. So I was shocked. I thought he would help Silver, honestly, too. I predicted that too, but he didn't.
I like what they did with him. I liked that they finally did. You know, it's funny because like Daniel had to like call it out and be like, it's good to know that there's some people who are just normal in this show. You know, people who don't want to, Cobra Kai's that don't want to kill me anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But I still love Jesse's fantasy prediction that there's a movie poster someplace of the Jaden Smith Karate Kid, and that is the Karate Kid in the Cobra Kai universe. I feel like that should be the thing, you know. That's all we need is just an Easter egg nod. Yeah, just a small, maybe one of the kids are at home watching movies and it happens to be the Jaden Smith Karate Kid or something.
It just happens to be on, yeah. It would have been funny if like that's what Chosen was watching. I liked what Chosen was watching though, but like it's like he's watching the show, he's like critiquing it or something like this is awful.
This is horrible karate or something.
Right. That's not even karate. Yeah, that's kung fu.
So Ruth predicted that Johnny will follow Miguel, but here's a good one. Ruth predicted that Miguel will find his dad, but they're only going to spend 1 or 2 episodes on it.
Yeah.
Johnny will reunite with Miguel, and it'll all be, that he's going to be the father figure. So Ruth pretty much nailed that because they didn't spend a lot of time on that. That was just 2 episodes and done.
No. And that kind of frustrated me because I think they probably could have had a couple more seasons and like deeper development with Miguel and his dad. But I also kind of got it because I don't think Miguel had even mentioned his dad up until this point.
No.
Like it was just like, he was just like angry. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Mexico and find my dad. And then that was that.
I don't think you can find time or the screen time for Miguel's dad because they still want, the primary focus is still Johnny, Daniel, and Silver, kind of this episode. Maybe they'll explore it later. I don't think so. I think that plot line was, plus they had to write that in a little bit because they were in question about Zylo's contract. He was kind of on the fence about coming back or not. So I think they kind of left it. They threw that out. That was last year. So I think that was part of the reason they did that. So Ruth also predicted that will Robbie go with Johnny? Ruth said no. I was shocked that Robbie went along.
Especially the way they ended things in the last season,
Exactly. Yeah. So I was actually shocked that Robbie did go with them. But Ruth also predicted Robbie and Tori will leave Cobra Kai, which they did at the end, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
And then you also predicted that Chosen might be a father figure to Robbie while Johnny was gone.
Oh, well, Johnny was gone for like 2.5 seconds.
I know, and then he was only gone 2 episodes, so that didn't work out too well. But that was a good prediction. Let's see. I predicted that Sam and Robbie will get back together, which I was way off on that. I predicted Robbie will leave Cobra Kai, so I kind of got that. I was kind of with Ruth about 2 to 3 episodes of Johnny in Mexico, then back to the Valley for the rest of the season. So I kind of was with Ruth on that. Tori will leave Cobra Kai, but not sure where she will go, which I think at the end of season 5, they left Cobra Kai, but they really didn't say that they were going to join Miyagi-Do either. So I guess
Yeah.
They left
technically,
Silver's Cobra Kai for
there
sure.
we go. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that Terry would try to turn Anthony, but they didn't even. I don't think Anthony and Silver even interacted hard at all.
Yeah, no.
So I predicted Kreese will be gone most of the season. So I kind of got that. He was only in, briefly in 2-3 episodes.
Yeah.
Kreese, Johnny alliance at the end. I thought Kreese and Johnny would get back together at the end, but I didn't get that at all. I did predict there was going to be a fight in the prison with Kreese, so that one. I mean, that was a given.
well,
That was kind of.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. I thought the last episode would be a bloodbath, and it kind of was. Chosen lost a lot of blood. And the finger, cutting the finger off that guy.
Doubt.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That
was brutal.
good.
For a minute, I was like, are they going to kill everyone? Is this definitely the last season?
Yeah. Season 5, I thought they would lose the dealership. I thought they would mess with his money, but they didn't. I mean, they had Amanda and Daniel breaking up, which was significant, but I thought maybe the dealership would be a deal. So and that's where I tailed into my other one, that Daniel would lose the dealership. He wouldn't have a lot of money. He'd have to go live back at his old apartment complex where he went and Karate Kid. I thought, but no. All right.
He just grew a beard.
You just grew a beard. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. When you get disheveled, that's where you grow a beard for a guy, I guess.
And he just shows up and threatens Johnny and yeah.
Well, what about you, Jesse? What was some of your favorite characters, story arcs, fun moments from season 5?
A lot happened in this season.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be really hard to nail it down. But I would say, first of all, I loved how they weaved in the cameos in this season.
Yeah.
Like they made the cameos cool without making them a huge deal. Like I suppose Mike Barnes's cameos were maybe a little more impactful, but having the Jessica Andrews character in there just basically to tip Amanda back towards Daniel and also give us a fun little Easter egg nugget of backstory of how Amanda and Daniel must have met in the first place, because Amanda and Jessica are cousins.
Yes.
And
what
then
a cool nod.
I've got 10 pounds of mac and cheese. It was that's a nice little nod to Karate Kid 3, So I had a lot of fun with that. And I thought that was chef's kiss, perfect amount of time for that character. She only needed to be there to kind of steer, Amanda back to the whole point of no, listen, and it's easy to forget that in this hyperbolic universe, but it's no, really, Daniel's not overreacting. It feels like he's overreacting because usually he is, but Terry Silver, if you think about Karate Kid 3, is no, Terry Silver is crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not overreacting about this.
That was a good way to get Amanda to understand, because she's just hearing it from Daniel's perspective. Now she's hearing it from her cousin. I agree. What else? Any other fun things that you thought really stood out for you, Jesse?
I also liked the therapy scene with Kreese, as far as Kreese wasn't, he wasn't really involved, but I really like how they handled Kreese in all of that. They used the younger Kreese character in some of the fight scenes. I thought that was clever. He's clearly having this conversation with his therapist, but it's cycling through the different people, so you can kind of see the internal journey that he's actually going on. What it means, I don't know. I feel like Kreese is still Kreese at the end, right down to the music telling us that he's still
did it my way.
I did it my way. Yeah, I thought that was handled really well. Everything Kreese was handled pretty good. I didn't think it was overdone. I liked the journey that Tori went on. She was great in this season. She was. They really fleshed that character out, and she's always been complex, and she's always been. There's more layers to her than we think, kind of thing. But they gave us more this season of her really stepping up and becoming more than just an angry teen.
Well, after 5 seasons, Ruth, do you still hate Sam?
Yes. I was watching it and remember being yeah, I said I still hated her, and I'm she's still definitely not my favorite character. She's not my favorite character to follow around, for sure.
Who is your favorite character, I guess I should ask, or has it changed?
This season or just in general?
Well, both. Both. What do you think?
Both. Well, obviously it's Silver. I've already gushed over him. I really like Chosen so far this
Yeah.
season.
Yes.
He's a very likable character. Like, I want to have more interaction between Chosen and other characters for sure.
I love how he's just beat everybody up like at Barnes's store.
Yeah. That was great. And how he was, I don't think he was even supposed to be like that drunk when they all like got in the car and went to Silver's place. He was just like, yeah, let's go.
Let's bring the fight to him. Yes.
Yeah. And how he put the knives into the club.
Yeah. Remember Daniel turns to Chosen. You're supposed to be the logical one. And he's like, no, yeah, let's go beat him up. Let's take him out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I thought Chosen was just funny and amusing, but still, he's the tough guy. He's kind of taken that tough guy place that Johnny was in.
Right.
I think in the seasons 1, 2, and 3, Chosen is the guy that, nope, if you want somebody to take a guy down, Chosen's the one that you want. Jesse, would you get in an Uber if Johnny was the driver?
Oh, no way, dude. I would not know. Like I would see him pull up and be like, you know what? I'm gonna cancel this one. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I thought it was a weird move that Carmen is pregnant this season.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I expected it was gonna be just a scare, and then that was that. But like, man, they just really were like pulling things together fast in this season.
Yeah, it felt like you were going 100 miles per hour in the season.
So maybe they should have slowed it down. But I don't know. That's how you keep your interest too.
Right.
I thought I liked Barnes in there, but I think they should have used him more. I think he should have been in. If we're not going to use him as much in season 5, then we need him more in season 6. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I liked that he was there, but he was only in, on screen, maybe 10, 20 minutes tops.
Yeah, I was going to say like 2 episodes.
Yeah, 2 episodes, and it was only on there for 10 minutes. And
I was surprised to see him back. I honestly thought he was going to be like the Andrews character, where it was like, oh, we think this is happening, it's not happening. And then like Silver's retaliation and like, well, no, he left town.
I love Stingray still. When Daniel's like, I'm not going to fight a bunch of kids. And he's like, I'll do it. I'll fight a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
That was great. That was great.
So I hope they bring him back. The Top Gun parody. Oh man, that was hilarious.
That was pretty great. That was his her dream this time. Like, it's like, that's pretty good. That's pretty fun.
And I like how one thing that has stayed in all 5 seasons I've thought about is that Kreese has never deviated from his hate for Daniel. We've seen Chosen and Barnes and Johnny all like, well, we're going to get along. But Kreese, from episode 1, season 1, all the way to now, he hates Daniel. There's no deviation from that. So I thought that was something that has lasted a long time. They've kept that thread going. Best fight. Which fight scene did you like the best, Ruth, out of this season? There's a lot of them, so.
I was like, that's a good question. I mean, I really liked the fight between Silver and Chosen. That was probably my favorite.
That was good.
That felt like the highest stakes because I felt like weapons have kind of been used in the past, but like there was just like Silver had this big old sword and like Chosen had his little like knives, and I was like, I don't know, this feels like a little bit higher stakes because they can actually like die instead of like someone just getting like, punched or, well, I guess, you could also get pushed off a stairwell, but like,
right.
That one felt higher stakes.
What about you, Jesse? What was favorite fight?
I like the Daniel Silver fights. Like, I mean, like, I don't know, maybe they weren't like the best technically put together fights, but like they were fun dramatically. Like just seeing Daniel just get owned in the first one because he's not ready, and then the vice versa, like seeing Daniel put all the pieces together and just own him in a very Karate Kid style fashion. It's like all the pieces are now in place, and now I am Daniel's son again. I've learned all the lessons I need in order to actually come out on top here, and here we go. I'm even going to throw a crane kick.
Yeah, that was
just
great.
to put a period on that statement.
Yes, yeah, I love the crane kick at the end.
I liked the Robbie Miguel working your issues out. Quiet. Like the Johnny Classic moment. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that was good.
And I liked seeing Kenny put Kyler in his place. But I always like seeing Kyler put in his place.
Everybody likes
absolutely.
to see Kyler.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, Kyler. Yeah, he's the constant. He's another constant that they keep him as a bully the whole time. Everybody hates him, and everybody loves to hate him. I also thought that the fight between Daniel and Silver was good, but I kind of wanted to see maybe who would win between Johnny and Barnes. I think that would
that would have been fun.
Yeah.
They did a little bit, but not much. So I don't think we'll see that as much or at all in the future, but I think that would be an interesting fight.
I also really liked the dynamic between Johnny and Chosen. They,
yes.
They had like this buddy rivalry. It was like these two get each other, even though they're from wildly different universes.
Yes.
Yeah. And the commonality they were talking about between both of them hated Daniel.
Yeah.
And both of them had to sit there for years and years and years and try to get over their loss that Daniel caused them and the pain that Daniel caused them. And yeah. They have that bond. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I saw him take out a man with just a pressure point.
Yes. And some ice. This bar have some ice? I saw this man break 6 blocks of ice.
Show them.
Show them. Yes. All right. So what about predictions for season 6? Let's start with Jesse. What do you think? So let's start with what do you think we'll see in season 6? And then what would you like to see in season 6, Jesse?
I'm kind of at a loss. I kind of mentioned this earlier. It's like season 4 had such a cliffhanger because they knew in advance that they were definitely getting a season 5. They were already working on it, right? And so like the cliffhanger was probably one of the best cliffhangers they've had in the whole series, with Kreese being sent off and Miyagi-Do, Eagle Fang losing, and Miguel's going to Mexico. Like was like, whoa, we have to have season 5. I don't know on this. Like, if they continue forward with the season, if they renew for a season 6, I think, I don't know, like they have to resolve the Kreese thing somehow. Like they have to, because I can't see him being a man on the run and having any impact or any importance. So they have to resolve Kreese somehow. Or, I mean, and he can even disappear for the majority of the season and just show up at the end like he did in Karate Kid 3, I guess. But, like, we got to figure out who the real villain is of season 6. And I think that's, I've seen articles on that. It's like now Cobra Kai kind of has a villain problem, because unless they pull a 2-tiered justice system kind of thing for Terry Silver, and he's got highfalutin lawyers that are just going to get him out of this, which I could easily see. I could easily see that. And I think if you're going to have a villain, I feel like Silver's your best shot. He's still your best villain, they should do that, or their only other option is that Sensei Kim, but she isn't as we don't have as much of a tie to her. Like, all she wants is to see this legacy kind of endure. But I could see her. She's got a 50% stake in Cobra Kai. She could easily just continue the school. There just isn't that. I don't know. There isn't the same stakes with her right now, because who's sticking around? I don't know. Like, she'd have to be able to sweet talk these kids, and she wasn't particularly cuddly with anybody. She didn't want anybody around that wasn't gonna win.
Yeah.
Well, she talked about her students in Korea, and the Seikai Taikai, or whatever it's called, the world tournament. Obviously, if they do a season 6, we're gonna see a world tournament, right?
Yeah.
So what about you, Ruth? What do you think? We'll start with what do you think they will do, and then we'll go back to Jesse on what he would like to see them do.
Yeah, I would agree the same with Jesse, that sometimes you can predict things and then it's just completely going another direction than you would. But I do think they will. I think by the end of the season, Chosen will meet up with
Amuki, or what is her name?
Yeah, whatever her name was.
Kumiko.
Kumiko. There we go.
Kumiko.
Yeah, I think they'll close that door and get that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if he would go there alone or if he would go there with someone and it would be like a tiny little arc before they go. Or maybe he wants to do that before like the world tournament, like everything all wraps up there and he like meets her. I don't know, something along those lines. Because I think it would be very satisfactory to see Chosen end up with someone, especially since he was very like, I have someone, but she's not here, and I'm sad that I'm seeing all these other people together, but I'm not with someone.
Yeah.
So like, I think it would be nice to resolve his character. I'm wondering if they're gonna have the baby by the end of the next season, or if the baby's just gonna. I mean, I think they would have to. It depends on how much time they're setting in between each season. I just
Yeah.
wonder if Johnny and Carmen would get married or not before the season is over.
That's a good
Well, that'd be
question.
an interesting series finale kind of
Yeah.
situation.
Like I could see that in like the last episode, when they're like panning over to like all the characters resolving all their stories and like those two are getting married before Carmen has the baby.
I like the idea of the baby being involved in season 6 because like that gives Johnny something to freak out about. Which is like some of the best moments of every season is him trying to figure something out, his version of problem solving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Yeah. Like creating an escape room out of
Yes.
Yeah.
That was great. What else do you think, Ruth? The predictions. What do you think they might do? And then we'll go to Jesse on what he wants them to do.
I think that's all I mean, because like I don't even know what they're gonna do with Sensei Kim. She once again isn't really tied to any of the characters in the story. The most she's tied to is Lee, and so I think at most she would maybe take Lee maybe back to where she's from and train with her students, maybe.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that's
could see
really
that.
all I can feel like predict from now. Like I have no idea what they're gonna do with Kreese besides take over Cobra Kai, but like he just doesn't seem as aggressive as Silver was about like because he didn't want like to take over the world of karate. He just wanted Cobra Kai and that's it.
Yeah, in the valley. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
Okay, Jesse. What would you, if you have any others that you think they'll do, and then go to what you hope they do?
Well, I think Ruth just unlocked something for me because I think that one way to bring it back, it's like they had that scene in the prison where Daniel and Johnny, well, specifically Johnny, was like, I want to erase everything you've ever done in the valley. And so you got hints of this dynamic, like Kim apparently feels a little more fondly towards Kreese actually than Silver, because she even mentions like, oh, it's too bad that Kreese is not here. Like what's, like she kind of asks about him. We get a little bit of this like interaction between her as a child and Kreese when they're training in Korea.
Oh, right.
I think like that could be an interesting dynamic. Like Kreese now believes that there is no way to really resolve things with Johnny. So now he's just about making sure that they don't erase every trace of him. Meanwhile, that's what Kim wants is to further the legacy of her master. So like I could see those motivations dovetailing into something that could be interesting if they can resolve the fact that basically Kreese escaped from prison and beat a bunch of people up in order to do that. Like it's still assault, even if he's like absolved of his charges from the whole Stingray thing. He's got some new charges he decided to just tack on there. So I think I would like to see if they're going to further this Sakai Takai thing. That maybe that's kind of what happens is like before she leaves to return to Korea, like Kreese and her have a reunion, and maybe we see a little bit more of what happened there, some of that backstory fleshed out. As far as Daniel's concerned, that's the one piece I'm missing though, is like what's Daniel's concern? Because Daniel's concern has just been to kind of get Cobra Kai back out of the valley so he can just go on with his life and have his lovely family, and maybe I don't know. I don't know if the legacy of Miyagi-Do becomes more of an priority for him or not, but it's like what is Daniel's new drive? What is Johnny's new drive? Like, why are these characters still doing what they're doing?
Yeah,
I'd like to see like a reason for all of that. Maybe it's
true.
Maybe it's Sam in season 6. Like maybe she has this new drive to become to further the Miyagi-Do in the world or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good. I think obviously you probably agree that the world tournament is going to be the main point in the next season. That's going to be the big one. I think we'll see Julie from Karate Kid 4 show up because they just keep dropping.
Making this more global, making this more international, that kind of thing. Like that opens the door a little bit better for her to make an earned appearance, I guess.
Yeah. I think they'll bring her in some way, shape, or form, just like they did with Jesse. It'll be a 10-minute thing, probably. I don't know.
It'd be cool to see like Miyagi-Do from different corners of the universe. Like if they go that route, if they do the world tour or tournament, it would be nice to be like, oh, look at how rich Miyagi-Do actually is. Just by attrition.
There you go.
Just by existing in the world. Here's the different corners of the earth that Miyagi-Do has touched that we just didn't know about.
So I think we'll see Julie from Karate Kid 4. The world tournament will be the main point. I think Kenny and Anthony will be in the tournament going against each other. I think that'll happen. And then I think Tori and Devon, the girl, will be in the tournament against each other. I think Devon, I think is her name, might stay with Cobra Kai, I think, because she just doesn't like Tori. I think Robbie will win the men's title because he's never won a title yet.
That's right. Yeah, he hasn't.
So I think he'll win the men's division of the world title just so they can put a title on him. I think like Ruth, Chosen, and Kumiko get together. I think Kreese will go free because he was falsely accused. Somehow he'll finagle it so that, look, I was falsely imprisoned. I'll agree to not sue the county for falsely imprisoning me if you drop all assault charges. And that's how he'll get out and how he'll be free to roam. Because I agree with Jesse. You can't have him be a criminal on the run and have any influence. So I think if Carmen has the baby in season 6, hilarity will ensue with Johnny being in the delivery room. That's guaranteed.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. He'll be the one freaking out and she'll be trying to calm him down.
And I predict Chosen will give him a weird baby gift like a sword or a sai or something.
Yes.
Instead of like a blanket or something, it's going to be like a weapon of some sort. And she'll give it to Carmen. He'll give it to Carmen. So I think that'll be fun. I think maybe to sway. So they're going to be at the tournament. I don't know if it'll be in Japan or Korea or maybe Okinawa. I don't know if you guys thoughts on where that'll be, but I think they'll try to the antagonist. And okay, I think the main antagonist, as much as Ruth likes Silver, I think they're swinging back to Kreese as the main villain again.
Unfortunately.
So I think it's going to be Kreese. So maybe he can convince Johnny to drop out of the tournament or something like that by threatening the baby or threatening Carmen, something like that. Because I don't think Kreese is above kidnapping children to do it. I agree that Sensei Kim, since she owns 50% of Cobra Kai, her and Kreese are going to get together, and that's how they'll compete in the tournament. Here's something I thought of. Maybe Sato has a son that they find, over in the tournament, or he competes. Maybe he would be another antagonist. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
That'd be interesting to pull Sato into it more.
Yeah, Sato's obviously dead, and he's still a hero over there because he helped rebuild the village. Right. But maybe Sato's son still has some vindictive against Daniel. I don't know. I just thought of that. What do you guys think? They have never really killed off a main character. Do you think we'll see the death of Kreese or Silver or Chosen or somebody?
There's definitely going to have to be some way they finish the relationship with Kreese and all the other characters. But I don't know if they would actually kill him off.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
if anyone's
that
gonna
was
die,
the end.
it might be Kreese. You know, like if they were gonna kill someone, it would probably be Kreese.
That's
But
true.
I don't know. I don't know
But
if
I
they
don't know
should
how
do
they
that.
would get to killing him. Like
Yeah.
how would that happen? Like it would definitely have to be some kind of accident because they
Oh,
don't
it
want
would
to make
be it'd be an accident. Daniel and
It'd be
Johnny.
Kreese's fault. You know, it'd be
Yeah.
like that scene in Karate Kid 2 where he punches through the the
Mhm.
window of the car kind of thing, and be like, Kreese just pushed himself too far.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a redemption there than that, but
hmm
if he died, I would see it that way. Like he just never could find his way to mercy.
hmm
I have a theory, or what I thought, maybe this falls in more of the wish. I think it'll get pretty brutal towards the end, but then maybe Kreese finds some old letters from his girlfriend that died that never got sent because her dad doesn't like Kreese. And in the letters, it reveals that she was actually pregnant before she died. And that kind of finally breaks Kreese. And the letters talk about, tell him to be a good man. I want you to be, you'll be a good father. And maybe that finally causes Kreese just to say, I'm kind of done with Cobra Kai. I shouldn't have been doing this. I don't know. That was just a theory. I don't think they're going to kill anybody off just because they haven't done it in the past.
Right.
Yeah.
But maybe that would be a redemption arc, especially for the fans because the fans don't like Kreese because he's always going to stab you in the back.
Right.
Mhm.
But maybe they can break him that way. What else? Any other predictions, or maybe move to wishes? How would you like? My opinion on season 6. Season 6 needs to be the end. I think.
Yeah.
I think
absolutely.
we've kind of run this. It's been great. It's been a great run. But what are your thoughts? What about season 6?
What are they going to call the dojo?
I think it needs to be called Miyagi Kai. So Cobra Kai, Miyagi Kai.
Miyagi
Mix
Kai.
it.
I don't mind that. Yeah. Better than Miyagi Fang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do will combine. Johnny and Daniel will end up being the heir apparent to both dojos. So what do you think there needs to be a season 7, Ruth? Should season 6 be it?
Season 6 should definitely be the end because they also are running out of like every character. They've already used basically every character in the Karate Kid world. So like I don't know what else they would get resources from. Also, I just don't think any fictional series should ever go more than 6 seasons. Honestly, I usually like it when they stop at 5, but 'cause 5 is usually when it starts going a little bit downhill. But especially since they definitely did not finish season 5, I think season 6 will be fine. Season 5 as a whole, I remember I watched the last episode and I was like, okay, where's the next episode? Because it didn't feel like a season finale. It felt like, oh, I just gotta watch the next episode on Netflix. And I'm, oh no,
Yeah.
I finished it. Okay, wait.
Yeah, it does feel like there needs to be an aftermath episode,
Yeah.
because there's usually that moment where it's like, okay, this is actually done, and now everybody's just kind of, I don't know, like settling into the new normal, and then it's over.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse? Do you think there needs to be a season 7, or do you think 6?
I don't see what they would do. I mean, like, I give these writers credit that they could keep this thing going as long as they want to, but like I don't know, like the stakes are disappearing,
Yeah.
the conflicts are being resolved, so I don't know that I need them to ham fist new conflicts just so that we can keep the show going.
Yeah. Well, and like the Robbie and Miguel conflict is over.
Right.
Corey and Sam conflict is over. And like, how are you going to go bigger than the world like championship? You can't really go bigger than that.
Yeah, the Daniel Johnny resolved, chosen Johnny, or chosen Daniel Barnes. Daniel is. I mean, there just isn't much left.
Ascot.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag Ascots are great. Yes.
Checking all the boxes, man.
I know. And they're introducing a baby, and as you know, any TV show, once the baby shows up, the TV show just runs into the ground. And they're going to be jumping the shark soon. You can see, you can see Fonzie getting the skis on. He's about ready to jump.
Yeah.
So
You knew Full House was about over when the twins were introduced with Uncle Jesse and Rebecca.
Yes, yeah,
I was
exactly.
like, okay, we're trying to make a new Michelle. That's just not possible.
Yeah, they're getting to that edge. But like Jesse said, the writing has been spectacular. So they might. Netflix has not okayed a season 6 yet, so we may not even see a season 6. But I do think season 6 they could put a pin in all of these conflicts and do it well. What I would like to see is I want Daniel and Johnny to open an official Miyagi Kai dojo together in the Valley.
Yes.
I would like to see Daniel. I mentioned this last season. Daniel buys the old apartment complex that he started, as an investment or something. And after he visits Mr. Miyagi's grave, he goes back to the apartment complex and stops by Mr. Miyagi's old office. And then all of a sudden,
I would like that.
All of a sudden he's starting to put stuff away and kind of clean it up a little bit. And all of a sudden he hears a noise and there's this kid getting chased by some bullies. And then he's like, hey, what's going on? And kind of checks it out and, they don't have to resolve it, but just kind of, I need some help. Do you know, just kind of do that. And I think I'd like to see the kids go their separate ways, but maybe one final night, Sam, Tori, Robbie, kind of the original cast are hanging out at Mr. Miyagi's place and just talking and laughing about old memories. And then maybe it pans to a wall picture of Mr. Miyagi and Daniel together. And then next to it is a picture of Daniel and Johnny at the world tournament after they win or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just kind of dissolves away as the kids are laughing and talking in the background. And
that'd be cool. That'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the idea of them putting together a dojo and basically like Daniel trusting Johnny to run it, because that is one of the conflicts is like that Johnny's dealing with in this most recent season is like, how am I going to be able to provide for a family? Like that is still kind of a dangling plot thread. It's like he's ready here. Or here at least, but he hasn't put the pieces together because clearly he's not going to be an Uber driver.
No.
Yes.
As much fun as that would be.
The only thing he's truly been successful at was running a dojo, surprisingly.
So I can see Daniel being kind of the financier, but also maybe a little bit of a coach. Hey, I don't like your training, Johnny, but I do see some potential there too, but hey, I'll finance this and I'll help teach too. And maybe Carmen's there kind of decorating and with the baby and they're kind of putting stuff together. And you can see a scene like that. Maybe even Amanda and Daniel both there helping out, that kind of scene. I'd like to see the kids, go off to college or, whatever they're going to do. I don't know where you'd like to see Miguel and Sam, maybe off to college or I don't know, but I just like the idea of them trying to combine the old and the new together. That's why I'd like the pictures of Daniel and Mr. Miyagi and then Johnny and Daniel together at the world tournament. So.
Yeah, and that'd be a good loop for where everything started in Cobra Kai.
But as you know, in most movies and TV shows, you do need a little postscript of Kreese,
what they've been up to,
or something, or Silver laughing maybe as he's in prison, or we got to have just a little teaser that there still could, if they want to do something later, they still could do something. Do you guys have any ideas of what you've seen in other movies or TV shows where they just tease the villain is actually still there, but I don't know what your thoughts are on that?
It's Jaden Smith.
Oh, jeez.
It's Terry Silver gets out and he's just like talking to somebody and we don't know who it is, and it's revealed that it's Jaden Smith.
There you go. Oh man, I like that. Well, any other wish lists, Jesse or Ruth, that hey, I'd like to see this resolved here, or maybe this conflict start over here, or any other last minute wish lists on season 6 if we get it?
I don't know. You covered a lot of them. Honestly, you well-rounded what you put all my ideas into words on how I would like all this to resolve with the dojo and everyone being friends at the end. And I don't know. You kind of wrapped it up very nicely.
Would you like to see, here's an idea, would you like to see Allie and maybe Jesse at the World Tournament? Just maybe in the crowd cheering them on, or...
That could be fun. I would like to see Dutch come back in some form, but I mean, I know he's the most reclusive of the, like, Cobra Kai alumni.
Okay.
But it'd be interesting to just have him, because they've kind of even built up the legend of Dutch as like he was in prison, you know, and that's why he's not here to see Tommy off. So it'd be interesting to see that, like, Dutch got his life together or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see him maybe just as Johnny's walking out to support his kids at the tournament, he just gets a high five from Dutch or something. You know, glad you're here.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Thanks for
Allie.
coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming. It means a lot. Yeah, and they may pitch that to me like, look, you only need to be on the set for about an hour. We're gonna that's all we need you here for. And same thing with maybe Allie or I don't think they'll bring Elizabeth Shue back just because they've closed the book on that. But you know, it'd be kind of a fun nod just to have her there. But I just don't know who the main antagonist would be other than Chris or Kim. So I'm kind of swinging back to that thought. I just, as much as I want Silver there, I just don't think they're going to do it.
I don't think they can fit him in with all the stuff they have to resolve. I don't know if they'll be able to fit somehow getting Silver in. And like, where would he go? Because then there would be 3 villains.
Yes, exactly. Because Kreese and him are done. I mean, I don't know that they can resurrect.
I can't see them trusting each other ever again.
Yeah. Now, Jesse, we need to inform the listener that you are 20 years of martial arts experience. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So what have you seen over the seasons? I mean, obviously it's a hodgepodge of martial arts, right? It's interesting to see when you're watching it from a professional point of view, or at least an experienced point of view, some of the stuff they're doing. What's some of your opinions on that?
Man, well, they've brought in so many different styles now at this point, and the thing that's most interesting, I think, about this season is that cinematically they've pulled more like classic kung fu vibes, like the fight scene by the pools. Like, oh man, we're talking like Sonny Chiba style Street Fighter kung fu movie tropes now, you know, like we're pulling in some old classic martial arts tropes that we haven't seen in other seasons, whereas everything else has just been kind of, you know, Karate Kid almost focused, where it's like very tournament based, it's very sports karate style stuff, and then you know, in the classic bully type of vibe, whereas this one, it was more like a lot of the conflicts were resolved in different ways. Like, we're gonna have a race down the water slide to resolve this. Y'all stay on your side of the water park kind of deal. And then when we get to the end, it's like all out brawl out kind of thing again. But it felt more like, because it's in a dojo, it's almost like what was the movie? Bruce Lee, Fists of Fury, I think was the American name, where
old
it was
70s.
the two. Yeah, it was like the Chinese dojo versus the Japanese dojo, and we have like a dojo war in a dojo kind of deal. So like we had some of those vibes. We had some, you know, like, you know, fight in the rain type of vibes by the pool, you know, and legit sword fights kind of stuff. It was like, yeah. So in terms of martial arts, we saw some new layers in this one, and again, the stakes were different with the weaponry, and they had almost like, you know, like it felt very people were saying James Bond with all the Korean senseis and whatnot, and also like it was that, but that also had a Bruce Lee feel to it, because there's always like villains who didn't really have much of a backstory, but they had a very distinctive look. Oh yeah, you know, and then Bruce would have to go through each one of them kind of deal, and so it had that vibe.
The eye patch guy.
Yeah, eye patch guy.
I never forget about that guy.
Yeah, Slim Sensei, Slim Shady Sensei with the platinum blonde, and yeah.
Oh man, they were hitting so many tropes on that.
Right.
So Jesse, as a martial arts expert, you're still not convinced that a 3-minute music montage can take you from zero to hero?
I don't, you know, like even Kenny, it was like he went from being the new kid on the block to just being like the top guy, and you know, but I don't know, like they established it. He was very dominant this season. Well,
I think that's all I have, unless you have any other awesome predictions or or other scenes that you may have forgotten to mention, but I had to mention Eye Patch Guy. Yeah, that was.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, well, Jesse or Ruth are gonna have a funny saying about that. I was like, why did they just throw this Eye Patch Guy in the back?
Yeah. I really thought that maybe Johnny would have more to say about that too.
I know.
Yeah.
I figured he'd have some sort of snarky comment. So, but he didn't. I don't know. I just hope they pick up. I'm a little concerned. Netflix financially is a little unstable right now. Do you think if Netflix doesn't pick it up, do you think somebody else like Hulu or some other streaming Peacock or somebody else might pick it up?
I think if Sony makes it, someone will. Somebody
Yeah.
will do it. Watch it go back to YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah. Starts here, ends here.
Right.
Yeah. I know there's a little
YouTube
bit
played a big role in this season.
Yeah. You're right. They I don't think they'll need to do something fast because the characters are getting older. Mary Mauser's 27. Some of these characters are starting to get, and they said, I saw a little blurb that Peyton List, the one that plays Tori, said they are just playing this year by year. So there really is no hard commitment from some of the actors and actresses. I think that will definitely influence where they go in season 6, who they can sign and who they can't. We'll see. I think season 6 needs to be it, but they better get ready because they got to get some contracts signed and get going to start shooting. But the writers have done amazing. Here's a last final question. If they do a spinoff, what would you want to, one, do you want to see it? And two, what spinoff do you think they should do if they do a spinoff? Because there's been talk of it.
Young Kreese, young Cobra Kai.
Oh,
I mean, like maybe see those early days, where they're setting up because they've kind of got a mini universe right there. The flashback stuff, that could be interesting. Like them building up to becoming the champions that they were at the beginning of Cobra Kai or Karate Kid 1.
That would be Johnny,
maybe
before
interesting.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Would you want to see a series with young Johnny, like when he first walks into Cobra Kai?
That could be interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
Like see the beginning of the end for him.
Yeah. There you go.
Like a Gotham treatment. Yeah.
There you go. How about you, Ruth? Would you want to see a spinoff? If you do, what would you like to see?
I mean, overall, I wouldn't want to see a spinoff, but if there was one, I can imagine them doing one with all the kids.
With the kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how it would all like fall together, but I would imagine it would be like a few years in the future, maybe when they're all like college age. I don't know, maybe they start teaching at the same dojo or something. I don't know.
Okay.
The Alpha Elite show up.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh man.
Julie Pierce is a professor.
Ah, yes. There you go.
There's no
At the
way
college.
they could lock Hillary Swank in for a TV thing. No way.
No, they'll be lucky to get her for a cameo, I think.
Yeah.
So, I forgot to mention Kyler going to Cobra Kai. What'd you guys think about that? I forgot to mention that. Penis breath.
Oh
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Right. Well, Mitch, yeah.
Mitch, or was it Mitch? Okay, sorry.
Mitch, yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
It made sense.
Made sense.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
No. Yeah,
No.
I forgot to mention that earlier. Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it wasn't even like, it just didn't feel like there was much like depth in that part of the story because it was just like, the only thing that happened is that they called him penis breath a lot. And then he's like, I'm going to Cobra Kai. And like, that was it. Like, there was no like, like scene where looks like he's debating on something or whatever, or having a conversation with someone. It just like happened. It felt like to me.
Yeah. I mean, he did but he didn't have a lot in the season at all, but that was basically his only role, was to be like, oh, look, man, they got a smoothie bar. Oh man, they got this,
That was the only tease that he kind of liked it. He talked about, they got swag, they got a smoothie bar. Wow, we don't have any of that. And so, it was kind of, okay. We kind of needed a guy to throw him under the bus, and he was the guy.
Yeah.
But it also wasn't all that consequential either. It's like, basically all he did was tell them that they were going to be at the dojo, and it was like a reason for the big brawl to happen sooner.
Yeah.
That's all. They had to have a way for Cobra Kai to get there to the kids. So, but yeah. All right. Well, hey, I think we've beaten up Cobra Kai enough. We've crane kicked it.
Oh yes.
So, any new moves you've learned from Cobra Kai, Jesse, that you can bring into the school?
The silver bullet is a new one.
Oh,
you
yes.
know.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Jesse's there teaching him the silver bullet.
Well, it's funny. Yesterday we went to a birthday party and was it Chauncey was like, I did the silver bullet to somebody in the back, and I'm like, well, I'm glad you didn't do it to the front because that's the move that stops someone's breath.
Yes,
like,
exactly. Yes, don't do that.
Don't do that. These people are not role models. Let's not be using those moves.
Not emulate that. I think you need to, when you're teaching your students, you should break out the rock slate that they had what Tori punched. And you say, okay, guys, we're going to do this today.
The wooden man, but like with rock.
Yeah, with rock. That's what you should bring up. We got to break these rocks, guys. Nobody leaves until this rock is broken. Scare your students. You're like, all right. Well, hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. So I'll put a link in the show notes how people can get a hold of you if they disagree with you or agree with you.
Oh, yeah. Please.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.